I was trying to see what GIF would come up when I typed in Asheville.
Oh Lord. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. Hey, all snuggled up on the couch. We're through our little downer, back to our regular uppers. And today we're talking about. Oh, hey, Laura.
Hello.
How you doing?
Why are you quiet?
I said, how you doing?
Oh, I'm okay.
Cool. Today we're talking about a subject that isn't really talked about much at all, if ever. I think this might be the first time, really, that Laura and I are going to talk about this kind of together in depth. We've glazed it a couple of times, and we're talking about when I die.
Woo!
Woo! So I was gonna look up like a little questionnaire and things like that. When I Google like when I die, it comes up with all sorts of weird, sad.
See. Well, it's a sad topic. I mean, what the fuck do you expect?
I don't know. I mean, it is, but it isn't at the same time. So this is gonna be our unofficial will. So guys, remember this: if Laura and I die, one of us, just listen back to this podcast, and you'll know what goes where and what we really wanted. So morbid, but so you got me over here talking a whole bunch. You talk a little bit, Laura.
Well, I want to be cremated.
Okay, so I guess we can split this into like all sorts.
But you see, I want to be cremated, but I still want an open casket funeral. So like rent a casket or something.
Rent a casket. I like that idea.
Have me a nice like little funeral, but keep it small because I don't really have that many friends.
So,
and then cremate me.
So before we jump to the death part, right?
Well, that's what we're talking about.
Well, we are, but I'm gonna go a little bit chronological here.
How do you think you're gonna die?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good place to start. So I guess the best way to probably share this is that we can hear your story and hear my story, because we have a...
How do I think I'm gonna die? I'm probably gonna get in a car wreck or die of cancer is probably how I'm gonna die. I've come to terms with it.
Why a car wreck?
Because I feel like every time I get in the car, I almost get in a car wreck. And some of them look pretty serious. And I just feel like that could be like a sign that I'm going to die in a car wreck. And I smoke a lot of cigarettes, so I'm probably going to get cancer.
I would hope you wouldn't get cancer, because...
I wouldn't fight it.
That's
I don't think I'd fight.
How my mom passed, so it'd be a very weird one for me. But I don't want you dying in a car crash either. I want your ass getting all nice and old and wrinkly.
I don't think I'm gonna live that long. I never saw myself living a long life.
How old do you think you're gonna be when you die?
I don't know. I would at least like to be 65.
65.
I mean, it's hard for me even to see myself living past 30 sometimes. I don't know. We'll see.
30? You better not knock out. I got these kids for life. You better not knock out that soon.
I never saw myself living a long time.
Well, I see you living and becoming real cranky.
I could be one of those freak people that live to be like 200 and something. Who knows? I mean, most people in my family died in their 70s or 80s.
70s and 80s. That's good. You're not going to die anytime soon. But if you do,
well,
we got this. How do I see myself dying? I guess I could split that into two. One is like how I would like to die, and how I probably will die.
I'd like to die in my sleep. Or by a blunt force trauma where I don't know, like, where I just die instantly and not feel it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably...
Like if I was to die in a car wreck or being murdered, Make it short, simple, sweet. Blunt force trauma, die instantly. You don't have to sit there and suffer.
Yeah, because I feel like that would probably be...
With my luck, I'd still get shot in the temple and live, though. So, who knows?
And then, see, then I'd have to go and kill someone.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
Yeah. So how I want to die. I want to live, as long as I can, and then maybe just knock out my sleep one day, just like gone. And that'll be it.
But what if life is like your personal hell, and when you die, it's like you made it through, congrats.
Yeah, that is that's an interesting
Now
thought.
you can do it again when you're reincarnated, but you got some time to enjoy.
That's a good
death.
segue. So what happens after you die? What do you...
Well, no one really knows exactly, but when my sister died, I'm really superstitious. So when she died, I just read a bunch of shit online. And of course, none of it's like facts because no one really knows. It's just what people have said who supposedly can talk to the afterlife and whatnot. So who really knows? But some of the stuff I read is like you never die alone. There's past friends or family members that have died before you that are there waiting for you. And they take you to the in-between where people are grieving and you don't pass over until you're ready. You can come back when you want to and visit people, or like they described it as it's like a movie.
It's a lot like Ghost Whisperer. I think you're kind of talking
kinda.
about. And
Ghost Whisperer is a good show. I'm not done though.
Okay, yeah, keep on going.
So they said it was like a movie. You learn from your life experiences, and it's like you're watching your life and all the mistakes you've made, the lessons you've learned, the lessons you were supposed to learn and didn't learn, how you made people feel. And that after that process is done, then you, I don't know, reincarnate or whatever. But that's what I read. Who knows if it's true? If it is, great, it's cool. If it's not, I don't know, cool, I guess. I guess I'll find out eventually. We all will, so we'll see.
What I think when you die, and I think there's an upside to it, and there's an even more upside to it. Like,
oh yeah.
Okay, so when I die, like, if I died tomorrow, and it just was like that was it, and there's nothing after this, I would be okay with that. I'm not living my life in hopes that one day I'm able to make it to some greater place. I live my life to the fullest every day as much as I can and contribute as much as I can to, the pretty much here. If it so happens that there is something afterwards, that's fucking awesome too. And I'm open to that idea, but I'm not going to place my bets on it. If there's another place where we wait in the middle and we, maybe come back reincarnated or some type of something, I mean, I think that'd be pretty dope. But if it's not going to hurt anything either. So how do Laura and I coexist with fairly different beliefs about the afterlife?
Well, neither of us are religious, so that seems to help a ton. But it's nothing to get really mad over because no one really knows. No one knows what's out there. Nobody can give you dead facts if God's real or if hell and heaven are real. You just wait and see. And no one knows when they're going to die. It just happens.
What do you think about fear and death not fear as in...
Well, I used to be scared to die. I get what you're saying. Scared to die. What is out there? I'm scared. I don't want to die.
I wanted to get on that too. I was talking more being fearful that you're going to go to hell or something along those lines.
I have not been fearful. I was born and raised Catholic. If anyone knows anything about Catholics, there's no way of saving your ass. The first time you commit a sin, you're going to hell. I mean, it is what it is. So I accepted it a long time ago. If I go to hell, I go to hell. You know, it is what it is. But the more I read the Bible, the more none of it added up to anything. I think people were in a state where they needed laws or something to believe in, and that's when God was created. A lot of our so-called religious holidays or even pagan holidays, which most people see as devil worship or what the fuck ever. And when you get to the nitty-gritty of it, the Bible was originally written in what is that the Jewish people write?
Hebrew.
Hebrew? Is it Hebrew? Sorry if there's the religion Jew out there and I'm fucking it up. I'm sorry. I think it was written in Hebrew. So when you translate that, of course nothing's gonna, come full swing. It's like you whisper drama.
It's an interpretation.
And you whisper drama in someone's ear. The story gets changed every time it goes down the line.
Let's not jump I can't say let's not jump too far into religion because it is kind of part of, goes along with death. But
I'd rather not be scared to live my life and do what I want to do because I'm going to go to hell.
Yeah, I think
I'd rather be scared to do things that can get me in trouble with the law or, get my kids hurt or something versus, great, God has denied me, now I'm going to hell. Fuck, hope they're going to put me in the 7th ring of hell.
Yeah. So, kind of segueing to being afraid to die.
I used to be terrified. The thought that you don't know is what's terrifying. You don't know what there really is out there. And that's another reason I think people are gung-ho heaven and hell, because they don't know. So they rather live by, oh, I'm going to be a good person and go to heaven, because they don't know. They need something to calm them down or whatever. Again, this is just my opinion. And then my sister died, and I came to terms with the fact that anyone can die. Like, one day she was here and we were talking, everything was great. The next day I get a call that she's dead, and I'm like, what the fuck? She's only 36. She's about to be 37. She has 4 kids. What happened? Like, this was sudden. No one saw it coming. What the hell? Why be scared to die when it can happen? You can't do anything to change it. So just embrace it and live your life how you want to live it.
I am scared to die. Not exactly the act of me just dropping dead, but I'm more scared for our children. I know that you'll supply and
I'm not gonna, you're gonna die after me.
But the circumstances, even, if it was me that passed before you, I don't want them to have to grow up without a father or without a mother or whatever. It's disconcerting. I know what I remember about my mom, and I know all the it's just when a parent passes when children are young, I feel like it's harder on the kid, or at least I'm just talking from my own experience.
It goes in stages too. Death of any kind is shit, and it hurts, and you have to really think about your mourning process and how you're going to process the idea of you'll never see that person again, you'll never hear from them or nothing. You're on your own. Figure it out. And at a certain age to where the child doesn't understand, hey, yeah, why is my parent not here anymore?
Yeah.
What happened? They don't understand their emotion of sad or hurt or whatever. They need therapy, legit. They need someone who specializes in death for kids, because I've witnessed it firsthand for little children. It's confusing. One day their parents there and everything's great. The next day they're not there, and hey, my mom's dead. And just telling everyone my mom's dead. And that's not okay. It's different. It's not normal. And then you have the adult preteens, like I was 9 when my dad died suddenly to me anyway, and it was hard, don't get me wrong, it was shit, and I love my dad very much, and I still think about him almost every single day, but I was 9. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know my place in this world, what I want to do with my life. I was in the process of finding myself, 9, hitting puberty and all of that. And then my sister, who was like my mom to me, I mean, she taught me basic life skills, raised me for years, and then she dies, and I'm 22. I know who I am. I have a set place in this world. I know what I want to do now that I'm grown up, and everything's going great. And then my whole life shattered before my eyes, and it was harder to process death at 22 than it was at 9. And one was my actual parent, and one was just my sister, who I was just really close with. And that, to me, was just mind-boggling. Like, why am I more upset now that I'm older versus younger?
And we talked about this a bit too, and you made it, I mean, the way you explained it, the way you talked about it, I guess you understood more of what was going on, and you also had perspective about what her kids were going to go through and what like everyone else is going through. You weren't just thinking about yourself, so that overwhelming, definitely. So another part of just like being afraid, not exactly of death, but just the effect of it on everyone else, that's what scares me the most.
You
like,
can't control
if
that.
You can't, but it also still.
But if it's out of your control, like I get, people get sad, but life goes on, and I'm not saying to ever forget that person, because that's impossible, but you can't dwell on it forever. You can't be bitter, and you have to accept that they're going to go through that pain, but they have to let it out, and they have to feel it to get through it. They have to grow from that pain and move on.
But if you, and I agree with what you're saying, but I also know more, like, if you were to die, right, and it's just me and Eden and King and Titan, my life would never be the same.
No, of course
ever.
not.
Like, I
No
don't know
one's
how I
life
would
be the
ever
same. When someone
get-
dies, your life is never the same again.
I don't know how I'd ever get over like the mourning process of,
And you
like,
won't know until you go through it.
Because you're my down ass.
You can't prepare yourself for that.
You-
Nobody can prepare for a death, especially if it's sudden. You can try. You can try to prepare, like if someone's sick and dying of it or whatever, but in the end, they're still going to die probably, and you're still going to have all these emotions that you might have not felt for the last 10, 20 years or whatever. It might feel different because it was a different person in your life. You might be more upset, you might be not as upset. So you can't prepare for that. You just, you take it as it comes, and yeah, it sucks and you don't want to see your loved ones hurting, but like I said, they have to go through that pain to move on.
How long would you hold on to my things if I died?
It depends. Certain things I'd keep forever. Certain things I wouldn't. Like your clothes, I'd probably get rid of all those.
The 5 pairs of clothing that I have.
I would get rid of your shoes. And, what would I keep? I'd probably keep your phone or something.
You would throw away my piece of clothing, but you keep.
Well, I don't know, something that's sentimental, like something that I just couldn't get rid of, like your watch or your phone, something that your stupid little bag or something.
Yeah, we're all looking at all my mess of a table right now. I don't know. Okay, so with you, what would I keep or what would I get rid of? And this is probably like over like some good bit of time, but I don't know how. It would be really hard to get rid of your clothes, like really, really hard.
It's taking up space.
Yeah, I know.
It's not healthy.
But it really would.
That's why I would get rid of a lot of everything, because it's not healthy.
I'm not saying it is healthy. I'm just saying what's on my heart, what's on my mind. Let's see, what else do you got? You got your make it up.
Please don't throw that away. That's expensive shit. Please don't throw away a $50
I
makeup
would maybe
palette.
keep a makeup palette, but I wouldn't keep like all. Tell me what one.
The chocolate bar, the $50 one. Like, no, do not throw that away. Bury it with.
This is part
or
of her.
cremate it with me or something. Do not throw that away.
Oh man. What else?
Well, you got the kids. Isn't that enough?
Yeah. Laura is. You're we're both. We have a lot of things for our kids, but her and I are kind of. I wouldn't say you're minimal or you consider yourself minimal, but when it comes down to it, like you have me and I have a whole bunch of electronic stuff, and yeah, you have you, and what would be like the things that you own?
I don't know, clothes?
Yeah, clothes
Basically.
and
I'd
your
like more
phone.
shoes.
Like
I could use more shoes.
so, okay. So how would we break it? You know, if one of us died, how would we break it to Eden?
It depends
King
on how
and
old they
Titan?
are, because you have to go off their age.
Let's go
I mean,
with-
they're gonna know one day, like, hey, well, mom or dad's gone. When are they coming back?
So let's just. I'm just gonna throw out a random time and play in space. Say Eden is 10. That would make King like 8.5, and that would make like Titan like 6. So like 6, 8, and 10.
Okay, well then for Eden, he's old enough to understand death, so explaining to him, you know, death happens and no one can control that, and you know, we're gonna move on and keep her memory or his memory alive.
But how are we gonna like? I mean, it's a good general gist
Like,
of it. But
hey,
how, like, if you were
honey.
talking to him at the time, like, what would we say?
Hey honey, so your so and so died today. Like, just blatantly, like, you know, I want to talk to you about it and explain a little bit more how life and death works. I mean, I'm sure he's going to have a fish or something that's going to die before one of us dies. He's going to have to understand death
I
at
guess
some
it's
point.
I guess it's a good or a kind of a good way to segue.
I don't
like,
remember
bring it into
ever asking my parents, what is death? I felt like I just always knew. And when I got the phone call, it was a voicemail that my aunt left on my voicemail. And I came home from school. I was in 4th grade. And she said, hey, Mary, which is my mom, you know, Louie's family, which is my dad, has been really trying to contact you. It's really important. Can you please answer their call? That's all she said. And I knew instantly that he was dead. I sat in this like little bay window thing that we had, looking out the window, waiting for my other aunt who would come check on me when I got off the bus to come. And I had the phone in my hand, and she opened the door, and I was like, he's dead. And she said, huh? I was like, he's dead, my dad, he's dead, I know he's dead. And I just knew. I never questioned it. I just knew. And I was 9, so if Eden's 10, he might just know.
I don't know. It would break my freaking heart. I would, you know, like, I think I'd go with what you just said a little bit about the kind of comparison, but like.
And then for the younger ones, hey, mom or dad is taking a really long nap.
I wouldn't go with nap, but.
They're not going to come home for a long time, and then eventually they'll catch the drift when they figure out what life and death is. And don't want to ruin them too early.
Okay, if.
Well, King might be old enough if he's 8.
Yeah, they both would. So, say you have, in the last moments, this is kind of speculation, but last couple minutes before you die, you're fortunate enough to have everyone around.
And I'm coherent.
And you're coherent
lucid.
enough to what do you feel like you would say, like, just whatever's the first thing that comes to mind, what would you say?
I love you. That's all I think I would need to say. We don't say, families, at least my family, doesn't say I love you enough. And that needs to be said more often than not. So all I would repeat is I love you. And I would hope everyone understood that I meant everyone that was around me. I love you.
I would probably tell you.
Get emotional.
I don't. The thing is with these podcasts, I don't want to just like be like, oh, what would you say, and just kind of give like a surface.
That's not a surface. That's like a legit
I'm not talking
answer.
about you. I'm talking about myself. I know that's a legit answer for you, and I understand why. So like, you know, getting into my feelings and understanding, kind of trying to put myself there is, I feel more real and kind of being more true to myself and true to you and anyone that's listening. I think like if it went in somehow in the order and you were there, and I'd like call everyone over and stuff like that. But for you, I would tell you, Laura, you oh my god.
You don't even know what to say.
Oh my
You see, that's why I want to keep it short, simple, and sweet.
See, I'd be losing breath while I'm trying to think of all the words.
Like, I love you.
It's like
and don't move on. I wouldn't allow you to get remarried.
It's like she's the world, and she's so strong. You're so strong. You're so.
It's not necessarily a good thing.
I mean,
being the strong one is tiring.
And I don't know. I'd really translate or try somehow in the few 2 minutes. You know, I'd have to give me 30 minutes because you know I talk long.
Like you are now.
That you're the most beautiful, intelligent woman, and I'm so sorry that I have to like go, but I know, and I want you, like whatever would make you happy, like after you mourn, I would want you to pursue, whether that's like finding another, or whether that's like
you have to not ever have sex again. You cannot get remarried. Your main goal would to be raise our kids and work, and that is it. You could not do anything else.
I think there's a time period between that, but if
there is no time period.
If it came down to your ultimate happiness, like I would want.
Sorry, I'm selfish.
I'd still want someone to.
We're
maybe
still
take
married
care of you.
until both of us are dead, and
bite
then
the dust.
You can get remarried and where the fuck is out there. But until then, you're mine. Sorry.
I think I'd let our kids really know my dying wish was really for them to
stay close,
stick together and be close, and that they're gonna go through ups and downs, and that the biggest thing is they need to take care of their mama. So, what's the first thing that really comes to mind when you think of like when I die? What's
See you, Space Cowboy.
See you, Space Cowboy. That's going to be on his
When I
stuff.
die, God is going to make sure that I have a different flavor of cheesecake in every room. And I'm never going to get too full of it. I'm never going to get sick of it.
What if you can't eat though?
What if you don't have a mouth?
No, God's going to make sure that I can eat cheesecake. You got no.
I feel like the Matrix.
Like I always wonder that. Like, can ghosts eat food?
I don't. Dude,
I would hope so.
I will be a cheesecake eating ghost if I was
free traveling.
If that was going, you know.
Free food.
I'll tell you that right now. If I was a ghost, but I don't know. I believe that time is relative. So, and I believe that the spiritual world exists outside of those elements. So I believe that just everybody is fast forwards to the same point.
So to just kind of connect that, all right, it is the day of your funeral, right? Just imagine
I'm attending.
Imagine that you can see yourself, and if you can, you can. If you can't, but just imagine if you had it your way. What would your funeral look like, Laura?
It would be A lot
like
of glitter.
like give
Like
me some details.
There'll
Yeah.
be glitter. I want an open
You
casket.
gotta come over here, Laura. You're far from the microphone now.
I want a lot of glitter. I want an open casket. I want someone like, I don't know, Savannah.
Why an open casket?
Because I'm beautiful. I want someone like Savannah to do my makeup. Do not let those fucking funeral directors touch my face. I do not want, what do they call that when they cut you open?
Autopsy.
I do not want an autopsy. If I die of a natural cause and no one like shoved pills down my throat or something, do not let them cut me open and take all my organs out and drain my blood.
What?
I want my
It's so weird.
eyeballs.
Why you even think about
Because they do that.
that?
that.
People need that stuff.
No, they don't. For what?
Not for our bodies. I mean, that's
My
good for
body
everyone
is
else,
horrible.
but not right now. Not today.
I want like a video of my life.
Playing?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll create one for you. I can do
And
that.
if you didn't talk to me when I was alive and you show up at my funeral, I'm gonna have someone call the cops. I'm so serious. And don't forget to cremate me. Rent a casket for the funeral, but cremate me afterwards. And I want my ashes dumped somewhere in New York.
New York, alright.
But my
Fly
kids can
out.
keep like a little one in a necklace or something.
That's cool.
Okay.
I want to do with those mustaches curled up like the Monopoly man to be reading my will off and say something about all the haters. And I want all the people that I don't know, all people that was
He's like halfway falling asleep over here on the couch while he talks about that. Well, so while you
You know what? You know what?
Make
As
sure
long
you wake
I don't even care. I don't even care. As long as there's a cosplay section there, and at least like if like the day I die, everybody gets a number, and if the number randomly comes up, we're gonna ask Siri or something like that to do a number generation, and those people that got a number, they got to come in a costume.
okay. So
God.
at my funeral,
Burn some cigarettes with me too while you're at it for my cremation. That'd be great.
What the?
at my funeral, everyone gets a free MacBook Pro.
Oh please! Where the fuck is that?
I just got a
money
MacBook Pro today. I just got a MacBook Pro today. It's on my desk.
What are you, Oprah?
Yeah, you get a car. All right,
You get a car.
But really on the real, like imagine
I'm
like
gonna cremate you.
at my funeral, I don't really like. You can decide whether it's open or closed.
You're
I don't
going
really
to
care.
live longer than me.
But no, if I die and you're there, like this is the assumption, right? I don't even. I don't want you to have to buy a tombstone. I don't.
That's
I don't
fucking
care.
weird.
Oh, hold on.
No.
Let me say
When
something
I
real quick.
die, I die. It's
If I die and I leave behind a pile of money, my kids ain't getting no money until they turn 25, and they only getting $1,000 a week, and that's it. Just
thought you
remember
were
that.
gonna
That's
say
like
something
like a
else.
fake wheel. That's like one of those.
No, this is
you
the
were
real,
gonna say, like,
real will.
burn it or something.
Just saying, straight up.
Funeral.
I wanna plan my funeral.
More celebration. Just celebrate the good times. Like, I am fine. You do not need to cry over me. You don't need to be mad. I'm gone. Just know that I had a good time.
I'm gonna be mad if we don't have life insurance
Just-
and you croak.
Oh, we still don't have life insurance right now. We still got to get that.
Yeah.
If we do get life insurance in the next couple months,
Please
I'm gonna
don't.
get $1 million life insurance. 80% is going towards you.
So if I die, I can
10%
murder
going
you.
towards-
I mean, if we get it, I can murder you.
No, you can't murder me.
Okay.
10% for Hope, 10% for Tony, and that's
No,
about it.
it's
So that's
my
like
kids.
100,000 for you, 100,000 for her,
Thank you.
and 800,000 so you can take care of my kids, Laura.
Take care of our kids,
Yeah.
Will.
But really, on the real though, like it's for my funeral. I really like. I live.
You're rambling, hun.
Well, you guys be rambling too.
You're just going on and on and on.
All right, so here we go. Jump in to the like.
Jesus, Will.
What?
Get your thoughts together.
I know
Yeah,
Jesus.
we were just about to talk about Jesus.
We already talked about Jesus.
So Laura, you and we
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
talked
yeah.
about this a couple times, like a little bit in this podcast, but you want to be cremated, like on the real,
Don't
right?
let them bury me.
And I'm all good with being whatever the cheapest way for me
Oh
to
my
dispose of my
fucking
body.
God.
Minimalist
Like
life.
the actual, like if you can, you.
I
dump
still
me
want
in
a
the-
tombstone.
I'm serious. But don't
How
make
do
me
you
pay
get
for a
what?
tombstone. Ain't
Why would I
gonna
not
cremate.
want a tombstone?
It's expensive, Laura.
I don't give a fuck. I'm dead. Somewhere
So,
for people to come visit me.
I would pay for your tombstone and your pot for your herb.
Yeah,
for,
I don't
like-
understand. That doesn't work. I don't know. You can't get
Doesn't-
tombstone.
No, I'm selfish. I get what I want.
Oh, God.
What if someone wants to come visit me? They don't want to come wherever my ashes are dumped.
If you really want a tombstone for me, Laura, you get me the tiniest
Oh
one. I'm
my
talking about like 1 foot by 1 foot, and be like, it's his minimalist tombstone.
So-
That's
I
how-
can't even fit that on there.
Just feel
I have to do it in moss
Put it in
code or
6-point
something.
font, the absolute smallest font.
Yeah, and don't even write it out minimalist. Just put
Where am I
M-I-N
gonna bury you?
Just bury me in the backyard. I don't care.
Ew, no.
Then you put his full
No,
name.
no,
Just
no,
put,
no, you don't need
just
to
put
bury me.
WCM3.
No, you don't need to bury me. 'Cause you're
M-I-N.
cremating me.
I
You-
thought you didn't want to be cremated.
I don't. Whatever the cheapest way to get rid
I
of
wonder
me. I'm dead. I'm dead.
what
You don't
it's
need
like
to pay
working in
like.
cremation place. Like you must come home smelling really bad.
You don't need to
damn,
pay.
Holocaust.
That's the biggest thing.
Oh
like,
my God.
I care about like her security. Like, and if getting a tombstone that's $10,000 or $5,000,
don't
however
know
much
that
it is.
much.
I don't know how much it is.
I want a tricked
in a
out
ceremony.
We're
tombstone.
gonna be rich. I don't know
Literally,
what you're
just have
talking
a
about.
party.
We're
I
gonna
don't
be
care if it's at a church or
rich.
not. You can have the party at the house. You have a party at the park. I don't care. Like my
kind of
funeral
party?
should just be a celebration of what
You've been
happened.
talking about your funeral for like 10 minutes. We get what kind of funeral you want now.
All right, so you guys heard it. So if my funeral turns
Oh
out to
my
be at some
God.
classic like church, and I got like a big ass tombstone, and I'm
we
buried
get
in
it.
the ground.
We get it.
I want my funeral to be shaped like the Megazord, and every single time you open up the hood, the casket, it goes. And I want the Green Ranger to be there,
All right, well,
Tommy, and he's gotta do some kind of.
I want a
choreography.
how
He's gotta
high
say
moment.
hutsa.
I want Chelsea to take my ashes and grow them into a pot plant.
oh
Yeah.
my god. All right, so to wrap this up, let's do Q&A, and then we'll close it out.
I'll settle for Voltron though.
So, Laura, you
Maybe
got
even a Gundam Wing W.
Do I have any questions?
like
If you could preserve my tattoos after I die, would you do it?
you don't have any tattoos.
But if I
So
did,
weird. What?
they can do
what?
that now.
I could take a picture or a video of
But
it.
like they literally cut the skin off. And
No,
That's
I would
weird.
not. No, I wouldn't cut your skin off autopsy.
Would you keep some of my hair?
Sure, that's
That's
fine.
weird.
I'll keep some hair
I
in the
would,
locket.
man. You know what? That broke my heart. You know they gave me Mama's hair.
Really?
Yeah.
I
That's
would
crazy,
not
man.
Keep the hair.
I would. I'd keep.
Like keep a finger.
I never opened
keep
the
a
box.
finger.
Keep a
I
finger.
never even opened the box.
Dang.
It took me till last year to put Mom's picture up in my locker.
It's big. I think that. So, what do you think? What's the hardest part about death, and also the hardest part about living? Tony.
The hardest part about death is just I mean I'm not afraid of death. I actually welcome death. The hardest part about it is am I going to see and how's my family going to be after I leave? You know, I had this big responsibility on me I'm not gonna go into, but
Yeah, and I think that's absolute truth. The exact same thing that I said. It's kind of more the fear of how my kids would be and my wife would be
I've
without me.
accepted
versus,
it. I would
die.
like-
The warrior's dead.
And then what's the hardest part about just living? Like today, we've talked about like when I die, but a lot of people don't really live. What's the hardest part about living, and how can you live a full life?
I think living a full life for me, because I'm spiritual, is, you know, having a relationship with God and knowing that God is real and He cares about you. And I feel like that's the way to have a full life, because every plan that I've ever made about being balling, I've tried to be with Tony Montana. I've seen the tractor trailers full of bricks and rooms full of money, you know, and it's nothing, man. There's always something missing. My plan is always.
So you feel like a full life is one.
I don't think he's saying that. Like, are you trying to say he's not living?
No, I'm just saying for him a full life is
God.
having a relationship with God,
Yeah.
right?
That's it.
And then Laura, what about you? What makes a full life?
Not living in fear of death or pretty much anything. What is the point of being so scared about anything when nothing is set in stone?
I think that's definitely a big.
I mean,
truth.
then again, I'm still scared of bees, but you know, you get what I'm saying.
I think a mentality switch with.
Like, if I just so happen to walk into like a mass shooting, I'm just gonna embrace it. Like, I'm gonna die today. I mean,
Nah,
I'm not gonna fight cancer.
I'm gonna snake
not
that
gonna
thing,
fight.
Metal Gear
I'm just
Solid
gonna
style.
die.
She's just.
Snake.
I think Laura just doesn't want to clean up any more toys.
That is a big part of it. I'm tired of wiping ass, cleaning pee, and picking up toys.
And then I guess
It's like, I think if Laura could like have all the cute parts of the kids, she would, and
great.
then like she could like auction off some of the other parts. You know what I
I'm
mean?
gonna
Like
sell them on
nap time.
eBay before they turn teenagers. That's for sure. Disclaimer: I'm kidding. Please don't take my kids away.
cut that one out.
Allegedly, allegedly do that. Allegedly.
So I guess to throw it, wrap it up. Like for me, a full life is just finding your passion, what you love in life, and then pursuing that for the rest of your life.
Wait.
And
Also, alcohol and cookies.
alcohol and cookies. Those sound like that sounds like a trip to the bathroom. Cheesecake.
That sounds like a trip to the bathroom.
God,
The shift that
probably is. I don't care.
the shift that I had.
Just so good. Just so good.
The paradigm shift that I had for really living a full life is more the instead of like asking for forgiveness and like doing and then asking for forgiveness later versus like asking permission. I feel like a lot of times we live in fear of what we can or can't do, and then therefore we don't live a full life. We just kind of skate by instead of just doing what we love, and then like if we hurt some feelings, we apologize for it later. All right, so guys, tell us what it would look like, if you died. Would you throw a party? Would you whatever? And we will be back next week. We know that we're late, and now it's like we're like late for the party always. So just expect them to be a little bit late, but they'll be here. Get you on the next one. Close it out, Laura.
Bye.
Da-na-na.
Peace.
Da-na-na.
Gundam Wing!